Frankers, what are we doing? It's time to change the tires on this 61 Plymouth, Frankers. Are you excited? I'm very excited. Do you want to just get down? Ooh, very nice. Okay, see you later. Hey. I thought it would be prudent to take these wheels and tires off of this car and put on some more appropriate ones. These are 15s. They're for a Ford. They don't fit properly. Those are actually really nice and shouldn't be sitting outside in the rain and snow. So we're gonna put some tires. Hey, quit wrecking all the whatever. Come here. Oh, what a menace. What a good girl. Okay, are you done making noise? What a good girl. Yeah, these are brand new, so there's no need for them to sit out in the rain.
No.
Put some classics on there, buddy. What do we got?
Come on down to the Classic Tire Emporium.
So I was just digging through the Classic Tire inventory, and I came up with, we have these E78 14s. One of them's a Goodyear with a double pinner. The other one's a Dunlop Royal. I don't know what, that's a little bit newer, but it looks pretty similar. They're the same size, so
close enough.
It's just got to roll around. So
yep.
Let's mount those babies up. I think we'll start with the E's, these guys.
Fronts, yeah.
Bang these on there. They're full of dirt. Yep.
Okay, so tomorrow I'll come and pick you up and we'll go and vote, eh?
just getting them going.
Someday this week, if you have a minute, I'm putting tires on that white car right now.
Oh, that one that's out
Yeah,
here?
remember I said I got to change the tires before we can put it away?
Yeah.
Well, I'm changing the tires today.
Yeah?
So we can put it away anytime
Okay.
after about,
today.
About an hour from now, yeah. So I'm having my 50th birthday party here next weekend, and the place is a shambles, so I have to put everything aside and just move a bunch of cars around and get this place cleaned up a bit, because it's pretty crazy. It's crazy. Like, there's all the workbenches from the straight 8 cars are still sitting around, and I mean the Packard's in the middle of the driveway. Anyway, all the stuff has to get put away, and I got to take the wheels and tires off the 61 Belvedere and put stuff on it that can sit outside. So that's what we're doing. What do we got here? You know what this is, buddy? This is a late 50s, early 60s. I think this is your 14 by 5 inch on 4.5 with the locating pins. That's probably actually the correct wheel for this car. So that's what's going on the front. We got some, let's see, which side of the car do you see? It's going to be parked there, so this guy goes on passenger side front.
Yeah.
This guy driver's side front. So, which is the better rim? This.
Probably
so this is passenger, so it gets the cooler tire.
Yep. White wall out, of course.
Natch. Is there any other way? E78 14. That's pretty small. That's a small tire. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, you know you got a lot of tires when you have to buy your own tire machines to do your tires.
These are so dangerous, you couldn't ask people to do it for you.
Well, and then you're always bugging somebody, or you're paying, or whatever, right?
Yeah, there's just no way. Oh, I hate putting tubes in. Steven's head of the Classic Tire department.
Yeah, he's like the tire man.
Today because
He's got like a life and stuff.
I think possibly because he installed a somewhat low-rent snowmobile museum at his parents' house while they weren't home. You could say that the whole thing is meeting with a certain amount of skepticism. Yeah, he's getting gym level pushback.
Yeah.
Okay, hit me. Oh, it's okay.
You're fine, Frankers.
You know what we have for this car? That it probably hasn't seen in a while. Full set of original hubcaps.
Was this the better one or is this the other one?
This is in worse shape, but better tire.
Oh,
Hey.
no.
You're lucky I edited out all the parts for your batters. There, that's a good looking tire. Let's get some hubcaps on that guy.
Funkin', she's ready to move.
Ready for the lot. Nice, right?
Oh, yeah.
That one could go in the back. The best one's on the front. These two are pretty good. This one even has nice paint still. So that one, this is the choice location here. That car hasn't had those going for a while.
Yeah.
Let's try the other side. Yeah, these don't really work when you run the tubes with the short stems,
Right.
but that's okay. Okay, we got a... Well, it's better than them hanging on the wall.
Yeah. You're on
Put a
something.
set on the back and see what happens. They bolt right on. They even have the... They're actually the correct wheels for this car.
Huh.
All right, we're putting the Model T away today.
Real-time fuel.
Real-time fuel drain.
How to drain the fuel from your model.
Yeah, right, we'll call it how to.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's looking for these handy tips this time of year.
Oh yeah, winterization.
Holy shit, buddy.
Yeah, it's really nice. I'll just show you what, without this fancy tool, your life is like.
Oh yeah, you're fucked. Really.
Kind of shitty, eh? But you take that, you just hook that in there.
Nice. Field
There
fit,
you go. Yeah.
buddy.
So hopefully
Wow.
it just slides under the car. Hardly even need the funnel.
Right?
Yeah. Winter storage tips with Scott.
Yeah. Don't fix your leaky carb. Drain it out.
Yeah. Just then next summer, just put it outside.
Next summer, park outside. Okay. Are we... I don't know. I guess, well, let's just see what happens. Who cares,
See what
really?
it does.
Is it going in? 100% of it?
Yes.
How's the funnel support system holding up?
It looks really nice, yeah.
Yeah, looks like it's taking the additional load.
Smells like your new gas is taking on the properties of old gas.
We'll run it in the freezer. It doesn't know.
Yeah.
This casting is cracked
Oh,
here.
yeah,
It's
look
been
at that.
over tightened, and it's also cracked here, either from water or from being over tightened. So that's all got to be replaced. Maybe I
Yeah.
can save it, these nice old fittings and just put a new
Or
casting.
even track one of these down that isn't cracked
Yeah.
in two places. Just one crack maybe would be.
Half as many leaks. Push.
Well, hold your toe under.
That's perfect. Got it stronger than the other one. Nice and straight. Yeah.
We didn't do no damage.
Well, I'm getting ready to paint the lower front valence for the 60 Fury. What I want to do is kind of try to match the original kind of slightly grubby looking silver that they used, which was not really shiny and not like if I put a modern color on there and 3 coats of clear on that, I mean, it'll look nice, but it's not really, you know, it's not really correct, and it's not really in keeping with what we're trying to build here. So I thought it might be fun to try to what we used to call shit mix a silver that is appropriate. So what we did was we kind of eyeballed the 59, which would have been done roughly the same way, and I've got some clean silver here, which is a lacquer, so it'll be nice. It won't be super glossy. So we've got some of that, just a straight silver, but it's a little, it's hard to see, but it's a little too clean, it's a little too pure, and it's a little too sparkly. So I want to try and tone it down, not enough to really, I don't want to turn it into like a dark gray or a gunmetal. I just want to take the real sparkle off of it a little bit. So because this is lacquer, I'm going to mix things in that are compatible, which is essentially some rust paint. This will brown it out a bit if we mix these two together. A couple of drops of each of those to brown it off a bit, and I have some old high-speed gray lacquer primer that probably this dates back a while. This is what they used to use for auto body for many years, but you don't really use it anymore. Nevertheless, it's still a legitimate coating, so I'm going to dump some of this into the silver to kind of kill the metallic, and then I'm going to dump some of these guys in to kind of take the, just to dirty it up a little bit. We'll see how it goes. First glance, not particularly promising. Oh well, just gonna gloop some of that in there and see what happens. These are both lacquer products, so I'm not really worried about that. But I do want to kill off the sparkle a bit. So generally, the more metallic a color is, the more transparent it is, and that's so that you can see the metallics and it gives it that depth. But so if we want to kill it off a bit, that's fairly easy. Or are we just making some kind of a mess here? Like, what's going on? Alright, put a couple of drops of red in. We'll do the same with some black here. just to kill it off a little bit. Not much, 1 or 2%. Still got to be silver, just not such a bright silver. Still seems a little bit too sparkly. Not much though, just whatever amount this is, that's what's going in there. A couple more drops. Alright, the one I just did is the drip running down the middle here. And again, just ever so slightly darker and less sparkly. And I think that's going to be good enough. I don't think we need to get too cute here. Don't even see this piece really, but might as well try to get it close. Okay, I'm looking forward to painting this. That valence was quite a piece of shit. Another thing I wanted to do this week was sort out this hood fit here at the right front corner. It's fender is a little bit proud of the hood, and not really the case on this side. And I think that the hood is still folded back a bit from an accident years ago. We can see here some weird bullshit where this has been poppered on at some point, and the welds have either let go or it's been cut apart, but I don't see any drilling. I don't know, just a strange thing. So I'm going to drill these rivets out, take this brace, either get it out of the way if I have to or not, but once that's not hooked up anymore, we should be able to pull this hood corner ahead enough to match there. And if that doesn't do it, then we're going to have to start tweaking this corner of the fender a bit. I'm pretty confident in the fender location because this is all original here and my repair is welded there, so I don't necessarily want to cut up or beat on the fender, but if I have to, whatever, you know. So we'll start by taking that guy, or drilling these out, and then maybe we can pull the hood ahead enough almost by hand, and then once that gets re-welded, it'll hold the hood wherever I want it. We've got a little bit more work to do here. This is still back a tiny bit, and that should come up a bit. And really, all of that is pretty good now. That was pretty bad. And a lot of this has actually really come out well. Oh, and you can see the hood looks pretty sketchy right there. And this is all seems a little bit, you know, can we see that? Yeah, that, none of this makes any sense in here, so I'm going to just straighten all that up as well. Alright, bang, bang, bang. Let's see how it goes. As we're getting close to doing some body work on the car, I am going around fixing the last of the dents on the doors and whatever. And I keep forgetting about this fairly big one on the roof here. There's something heavy, somebody stood on it or whatever, but anyway, there's a pretty serious dent running right in here. And it's not the kind of thing you can fill, and I wouldn't, because there's a big high spot running around it, as they do. You can see the stress marks in the paint there. And you know, a pretty good size low spot there, so pretty, let's see if we have any access to it. Oh, we got just enough access right now. So I'm going to go get a wooden mallet so we don't mar this. And we're going to kind of do a pretty traditional hammer and dolly job on this. See if we can get it to look a little better. Okay, all we should need for this job, a couple of hammers and a body file. And so these you can get the right curve on them. Anyway, just usually fine to just have it be more or less flat. So we're not using this to take any material off. And if I was going to do this and if I wasn't intending to paint the roof, I would skip this step, but I think it might be helpful just because it's going to be difficult to show on the camera. So I'm going to run over it with the file, and it'll kind of show us what where the high spots are really and where the low spots are pretty quickly. Drawing that smiley face on there, and okay, so the paint is thin here, and you know, the file is only touching on the high spots, so it's a little easier to see what we're up against there. I had considered not painting the roof of the car. I really seriously considered leaving it in the interest of preserving as much of the original of the car as I could, but I don't know, since I have to paint all the rest of the car, and this is, you know, you can almost see through it and there's hardly anything left, so I think at this point I don't think we'd be really doing the car any great favor by saving the little tiny bit of paint that's left on the roof of this. And again, if any of the car was savable, I could have saved this, but I just don't think there's enough there. Let's get a dolly on that. So the idea is to find a dolly with about the right crown, lay the dolly right in there from underneath, and then we're going to tap here. The reason I'm using a wooden mallet is it's unlikely to stretch the metal. This is pretty low crown surface, and the dent is pretty shallow, so we don't really need a huge amount of force, and we don't want any stretching. So this is another one my dad made out of a tree, so it works really good. I think it's an apple. It's an apple hammer. Pretty clearly see what's going on now. So let's get rid of that guy. Sorry about the shitty camera angle. I don't know where the tripod is. Good to give it a few taps. Find your dolly. Otherwise you may be doing something you didn't want to do. So you can see the dent is almost completely gone, but not quite. There's still, we probably fill with primer. We can see there's still a bit of a ridge here. We've got the middle here pretty good, pretty good. So this is now the same height, give or take the thickness of the primer. So that's pretty good. A little tappy to do here yet, so maybe we'll push up here and tap that guy, and I think we'll just see if we can just push up with a hammer handle and just kind of gently push that guy out. Just see the line there. But I mean, I don't know, more for the sake of just doing it really at this point. If you hadn't filed it, you could just about leave it, but since we're going to paint the top, we can file it just so it's a little easier to see, to get the last little bit, you know. Okay, I'll push up on it here. You can actually get a reasonable take of it there. I don't know. I could take this rib out if I have to, but I think the sharpest part of the crease, the rib's about there. So I think I can get most of it. And it's already close enough. Like, The rest of the roof is actually so good. It's really unbelievable. Like, if you had to get lucky on one part of this car, I'll take the roof. No problem. Really happy. The roof, other than that, that was the worst damage on the roof. And that could have been really bad. So, still a little more to do. So that's after a little more work with the hammer and dolly, and then filing it one more time. And I think the file is actually cutting the paint all the way across the entire area, and we're touching steel there, but it's not cutting the steel. It's just kind of, that just means you're done. Stop filing because you're not getting anywhere. So I don't know. The thing is that we're well into the evening of the diminishing returns on this. I think for the purposes, you know, you could keep going, but like, I'd rather fix a different dent. This one's done. We're done. Let's I'll shine it up so we can see what it looks like. Okay, there's the finished dent repair on the roof. And you can we get a picture of it. Yeah, it should be ready for primer. And yeah, a little trickier than it looked at first. It came out very nice. No magic, just a little bit of time. Wish there was some magic. A little more time than you might actually suspect. Really fairly short amount of time on the hood. Really just trying to make this into a single curve. And cut this brace out of the way for now. Put it back when we're done. And kind of, see, pulled the hood ahead with comparatively little effort. We've got the hood very close. Next will be the one on the door. This is same kind of thing here, and it's mate down there, so something fishy has happened there. Yeah, don't know, backing out of a garage kind of leaves you one like that. Posts, any kind of post, it's pretty posty damage. What else are we doing here? Listening to furnaces. Let's go see if we can paint that valence. That'd be fun. Mini for anchors. Is she sleeping? Are you sleeping, Mint? Oh, sorry, buddy. Dad has to go painting. Do you want to come? Let's try spraying our shit mix silver here. Everything looks ready to go. Let's have a look at the thing. Well, the paint's still pretty wet, but a couple of wet coats of some homemade color. And oh, the poor camera is dying, Frankers. This camera is dying. Yes. All right. Well, that looks really good, actually. That'll finish up the front of the car. That's right, Frankers. It is time to go inside. Okay, come here. It's a cleanup day, day 2. Anyway, lots of awesome agents stop by, so I'm going to catch up with a few of these guys, waste some time. Got the 61 Belvedere coupe. Hey Trev, buddy. Trev! Trev's very excited to be here. Okay, can you sit, Trev? Sit, please. What a good boy. Belvedere looks nice in its new home here. So it can sit there safe and sound until we get around to finishing it up. It's funny, the car that looks this rough could be said to be massively improved. Gentlemen, wow, that's some unsavory dudes.
The weather went to shit in a hurry.
Real quick.
Yep. I think I chose this jacket.
Okay,
Okay,
so
where are these going?
tire shed. Right.
Oh, looks like you got your winter weight in there too.
Oh yeah, a bunch of sacks of barley. Didn't we go?
In we go.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I kept them inside when I had them, so I'm really
That's
glad
right.
to see they're
Garage kept.
a good indoor home
Yeah.
for the tire baron himself.
There you go.
Beauty.
Really get them in there. Oh, careful.
Easy. Don't anybody.
Close the door quickly.
It doesn't close anymore, but that's okay.
I don't think it really closed very well before either.
Yeah, let the machine do the work.
Hook these on.
Hi. Oh yeah. Might as well.
Because we'll use it as a shell.
Yeah. Lousily. If you hook it like way in, you kind of get a level surface.
Alright. Enough. Okay.
Oh, I see. The tire shuttle.
Tire shuttle.
Okay.
The old tire hotel.
Oh my Christ, this is a heavy one.
Very full of waters and shit.
Oh, that's pretty fresh.
That was actually fresh. And
Wow.
actually,
Well, that's
I
just
wouldn't use the
mounted.
word roadworthy, but it is mounted in a tube.
Do you have a companion to it, or?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay, good. Otherwise, that look kind of a one-legged van or something.
Kind of used it,
You think that's gonna stay?
Maybe. Oh yeah, we're not going. Where are we going?
yeah. Just around to the back.
I don't know where you're going. That's why I asked. I have no idea.
Sorry. Yeah, bring her up to the bay doors.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Go around
The
to
warehouse
the
guy will be there waiting.
Yeah.
Just give them your slip. Back her up against the dock. One of the boys will
One of the boys will. So much inventory.
At least this is good inventory.
This is nice stuff.
It's more than can be usually said.
Yeah, we're gonna have to put them all in this extra motorbike spot for now. It's a beast.
You try and balance it, or that's it?
Oh Christ!
There's not weight in the
There's
world.
not enough land in the country to do that.
Be a car battery
Melt
tied to
down-
one
melt
side.
down some batteries and just pour them on the back. These are actually mint. Thanks, man. That was much nicer than rolling them all one at a time past all these cars.
Oh yeah.
So,
Yeah, figured try and get. I was gonna put it away, and I thought, well, I should probably drive it at least once more.
yeah, I haven't seen it.
I like that you got winter weight in it.
Oh yeah.
It's good. Thinking about parking it, but you still got winter weight in it.
Yeah. It sucks in the winter, or wet grass or anything. It's just no weight on the back, except for that winter weight.
What's the old can?
Oh, it's just an old coolant, Crestone.
Oh yeah.
Kind of a neat old can there. Hoping one of those pickers will find me and offer me an exorbitant amount of money for it.
You can get a
Look at that.
bush around my place.
Well, how close is that other table to coming down? Fairly close.
It's got a bunch of garbage on it, but I think you're gonna
That engine's sitting up.
it'll be an hour worth debating whether it's garbage.
No, it won't.
Oh yeah.
You
Oh,
guys.
this shitty old plastic thing's broken. Should I throw it out or not? I don't know. Maybe I'll find the broken part of it someday.
Yeah,
I know I'll regret it.
I regret this. I wish he was lying. Okay, continuing work on the hood. See if we can get the crease in here. So that is what we're up against. Looks like a truck, back of a truck bumper, something really straight. And it goes right there on an angle. So this side I've already been working on. See, that's mostly gone already. So I thought, we don't have very good access to this, but I thought maybe we'd try to pop some of it out. You can see it goes right through the little point here in the middle too. And let's see how much of that we can get. I don't know. As I say, this side is starting to look starting to come out. So, and again, this is a battlefield surgery. Like, not expecting to get this perfect. We don't have the time. Can't spend a year on this beating the dents out of it, so we're gonna get it pretty close though. So we've got that to go through. Been tweaking the hood. Still a little choppy in here, a little there. Pretty decent as we go back that way. You see it just popping up a bit in the middle there. So I'm going to try some of that with this. Just try and nudge it up a bit. If we can't, then we're going to have to try and push from inside with a dolly and tap it down around. It's just nicer to get it a little closer first. It's a pretty sharp dent. Ditto here. I'm going to try and push that out. So, okay, it's just impossible to do with the camera in one hand. You see that the majority of the crease is out, but there's some bumpy stuff here from having to pry it out, just so we know what we're up against here. There's actually very little access to the very worst parts of this. And making better access would mean cutting huge pieces of this out, and it's just not on the program. So short of a concourse restoration on a big six-figure car, that's just not happening. So I'm gonna dolly that best I can, and I think we'll be pretty close anyway. Are you sleepy? Time to go inside? Okay. How do we do here? Well, it's not perfect, but I'm not trying to get it perfect. But 99% of that crease is gone. Ditto over here. Somewhere in there. Yeah, anyway, that's much better. So I cut the brace and pulled the hood ahead, and now we've got a nice fit with the fender here. So that's a good start. And yeah, it's much improved in here. The whole hood starting to fit up reasonably well, considering what we've got to work with here. So, you know, it's it'll come around. It's good enough. It's good enough now. We'll finish fitting some stuff up here, and then as soon as the Lotus race car is finished, this can go in for bodywork. Well, those are just fine. couple of sweet Belvedere emblems for the Belvedere. Hey, Frankers? So I thought we'd put those on. Very generous donation. They're very easy to get off. Fantastic. I think I have just about every piece we need for this car now, except for a good engine. That's okay, we'll find one. I had a very generous donation from patron Matt of a poly for this car, but it is a later poly with the different casting around the bell housing and using a different crankshaft, so it does not really fit with the earlier push button transmission. So I'm going to put it aside for a different car and keep looking for something for this car, but that will be detailed in an upcoming show when we have time to treat the subject properly, such as it is. Nevertheless, very excited about how the Belvedere is coming. Just a treat to have the two-door version of the car that I've always wanted. Sorry about the poor lighting. It's early in the day for me, and I'm not used to the sun being up over on this side of the yard arm, as it were. She's still no prize, but she's better. There you are. Tracking down a hood for this Packard. This looks silly, but it is keeping the engine dry, so that's on the list of things to do. Perhaps Straight 8 Challenge Part 2. Now all I need is another Straight 8 Buick. This is a regular contributor.
Same old shit. '87 Saab 900S Sport. Oh yeah. No turbo, but stick. Oh, headlight wipers. Sweet. You'll be firing those up.
That's the old aircraft
Yeah.
mentality.
Yeah. Well, it's not nearly the ergonomic meltdown that the 9000 was. This is actually sort of sensible.
Temporary, right? Same year.
Yeah, it's funny. The 9000 was just such a display of gadgetry, and this is actually quite
Pretty bare bones.
pretty sensible in the way that Saab can only be sensible. Nice. Really cool.
That's pretty good.
Doctor owned. Yeah,
Of course.
as they are. Yeah.
They're a doctor and engineer.
Yeah. So it went from a doctor to an engineer. Frugal engineer. Oh, look at all the gauges. Yeah, it looks good. And the all-important water pump
Yeah.
actually has a water pump.